Hi there, thanks for joining me. In this video we're going to be taking the cams out the engine and removing everything else so we can lift it out. So this video is cams off and engine out. So yeah, enjoy it. Please drop me a little like, subscribe if you enjoy the video. So let's get stuck in straight into the camshafts. We'll move away these the bearings, the caps. They're all these E-Torx bolts, so we can whiz those out nice and easy. I've got my little Milwaukee impact there. I'll take these out in an order and try and keep them all so we know where they've come from. So I'm obviously taking them out, and when I put them aside, we want them all going back in exactly the same place, so we need to keep them all nice and safe and in order. I'll take the middle cap out last so that we don't stand any chance of bending the camshaft. These are a hollow camshaft. You know, it's like I said about the rockers, it's high performance stuff. You know, hollow cams, roller rockers. It's an incredibly well made bit of kit. And just quickly whiz all those out. I'll have quite a bit of fast forward in this video, but I'll try and keep it all watchable. And here we go. We're going to reveal the damage now when we take this out. So these are a chain driven cam, but the two cams are actually joined together by the gear on the end. The camshaft isn't too dirty. You know, I did have an issue with the oil, like I said in the last video. But it's not too bad up here. It's not as bad as it could be. We'll give it a quick wipe down, and the camshaft's got no wear on it at all. It's in really good condition. And now we can actually see the rockers. So the rocker sits on top of a hydraulic tappet. One smashed up rocker. That's the third one back. So cylinder 2. Now the camshafts sit in this cam carrier, which is a full cradle that sits on top of the head. So we can remove this whole piece off the top. It does also sit with some oil seals. So there's oil seals that run down the injector holes to stop any oil getting in there. And you know, I've got that when I took the injector out in the last video. There was oil ingress into one of the ports there, so it could possibly be one of the seals on this part that's faulty. So we're going to have to replace those. You'll see them in a minute when I take it off. But again, it's all E-Torx bolts. Got the Milwaukee ratchet. That's the 3/8 ratchet. Cracking bit of kit. I'll put links for all the tools in the description below. And there's a little bit on the edge where you can pop a pry bar in there just to pop this up. It's got some dowels as well holding it down. And bingo, there it comes. So that's the cam carrier out. And now you really can see all the rockers. Look at that, what a bit of kit. You can see the little rubbers there. A couple of them are still stuck there. I'm just going to pick them off. I'll pop them back in. I'm going to replace them, but you won't believe how much they are. They are £7 each from BMW. £7 each for them little rubber seals. Ridiculous. But it's just one of those. You know, I'm going to change it because something was leaking. Well, here we are down in the nitty-gritty bit of the engine, and we can now see what the damage is. Now, these N47s run interference, so the valves will hit the pistons, but they're dead straight, they're dead square, they run at 90 degrees. So generally, when the piston comes up, hits the valve, it doesn't bend the valve, it rams it back up and bends the rockers. So the question is, do we take the risk, rebuild the engine without replacing valves, or taking the head off, which I'm really tempted to do, and just replace the bent rockers, and hopefully we'll be alright. Now, looking at it, just a quick assessment of this. This is the number 2 cylinders hit on the exhaust side, and it's broken one, absolutely broken. It's smashed this rocker up here, and it looks like it's bent. Oh, it's broken this one as well. Look, you can see that's snapped in two. As I get it out, it's in 2 pieces. So it's done exhaust side on this one here. What I will do is get a DTI on this and just check where these valves are in relation to all the others, and we'll know really if they're closing fully. So that'd be a really good way of finding out without stripping it down too far whether we've got bent valves. And these are lovely. They're all on roller rockers. I mean, it's real performance engine stuff. Lovely, lovely. We'll get all of those out one by one, popping them all out. Do they just come straight off the top? Like I say, sat on top of the valve and over to the hydraulic tappet. And I give it a really good clean up. Got some engine cleaner, carb cleaner, degreaser. I'll put links in the description again for all of this stuff. And I need to give this a really good clean. It's there's a little bit of sludge up the top. Not a lot, just a small amount. Most of it was on top of the rocker cover. So I've got to clean that down as well. But yeah, I'm going to give this a really good clean down. That brings us on to the air conditioning. We've got to take off the pipes. There's 2 pipes to the compressor, held on with Torx bolts. We'll pop those off. The system has been decompressed with just a tiny amount of gas left in it. And then we can remove the remaining connectors. Now, like I say, I was hoping to get this out with the looms attached, but some of the connectors are really tight. We shall see how we get on. We'll drop the oil out, get rid of that. So the engine's now empty. It's got no fluids in it. Now we move us down to the exhaust. We've got to get the DPF off. We've got a bit of a bracket there which holds it in place. I thought I might be able to get away with leaving the DPF connected and just taking the exhaust pipe off. We've got the starter motor as well. 2 bolts on the back there. One positive to the battery, and the other one is the little to the starter relay. That's on this one here, the smaller wire. So we'll disconnect those, and then the starter's held in with, I think it's 4 bolts. These 2 here, one in the back there, and this one at the side. And we'll pop that out, and then the starter motor's free, and it will come out. There we go. And we've got bell housing bolts. So we'll just start cracking those off, get to all the ones we can. There's a few around the bottom, and then there's some on the top. The ones on the top, there's a couple of them are really tricky to get at. So I've got an extra long extension with the swivel on the end of it. We'll get the impact gun on there, or the big bar if we need to, and crack them off. And just whiz those out. They're a bit on. The camera shots are not very good. It's dark under here, and I can't get the light at the top. It's a bit tricky. But there's one of the big bolts out the top. And yeah, we'll get up there with the bar, crack it off. These can be tight, really tight. But they're coming out okay at the minute. We're not too bad. Yeah, that's them 2. We'll go for this one as well. Get the big bar. This one was tight, I believe. Yeah, struggling a little bit. I've got this ratchet swivel on the big knuckle bar there. It's fantastic. Just helps you out getting into those tight spaces. And there we go. That's another one out there. Another one further up the top. Hard to get to, but we'll struggle on. How tight's this one going to be? How's your muscles? Yeah, that's a good one. Oops, watch the camera. I can ping that off with a ratchet as well. You see, it's quite awkward under it. It's not the easiest to do on the ground. Just reach up and pull that bolt out the top. You can see on the left hand side, that's the fuel pump, the electronic fuel pump. Primes the system up.
Any more for any more? I don't know. I can't see any more.
I think we might just have one at the top.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's all of them.
Now, I did leave the battery connected. The reason being for this was I've had issues with the body control module. It went in for a recall on the fuse box to BMW, and they disconnected the battery to do the modification, and it corrupted the body control module, and they had to replace it. So I'm dead reluctant to remove the battery terminals. So I've tried to do it without. Well, this is the problem that I've created. So I'm going to have to disconnect it. Every time you open the door, the diesel pump primes up and shoves fluid all over. Oh, what a nightmare. What a nightmare. So he's not an happy boy, and he's going to have to go in the boot and disconnect the battery. But I've got all stuff in the boot, all the bits I've took off, so yeah, what a pain. But never mind, you live and learn. And that is why you have to disconnect the battery, because every time you open the door it primes the fuel system and pisses diesel all over the floor. I didn't see that coming, did I? Schoolboy error. But there you go, battery's disconnected now. It's made a mess of my floor. Now there's one last bell housing bolt and it's right at the top there, so I've got to get it out with a spanner, unless I drop the gearbox, which I didn't want to do. Okay, so tucked away down here is the bolt for the DPF on the downpipe, just in there, and I'm just going to whip that clamp off, and we'll move the bracket off the DPF as well, and hopefully drop it. We've got the Worth Rost off, so we'll give it a quick squirt with that, just to save us any problems with the threads. Exhaust bolts and stuff have generally got some corrosion on them, but this has come out really easy. It's nice and clean. Keep that safe. Now we've just got to release the clamp. It's really tight, so a little tap and it just pings off, and then we can drop the DPF out the bottom. Oh God, it's a heavy old thing. And if you look inside there, look how clean it is. It's absolutely spotless. So look in the other end, see if we can see that one. Well, that end doesn't look so good. Sounds a bit muckier, but it's a remarkable how it works. Now let me know in the comments, do I remove the DPF, do I smash the centre out of it and map it out, and also remove the EGR valve to save us getting in these problems with the dirt inside the manifolds? Let me know what you think. Would you, while it's off, would you do it? These engine mounts coming off, these are just the bolts holding them onto the rubbers. We just whiz those out. We've got the oil level sensor. Got to disconnect that. It looks like we've got these two little tabs on the side that we squeeze. Now I'm not 100% sure if this is a level sensor or a temperature sensor, so don't quote me on that one. But it's blooming tight. These are really stiff. Oh, there it is. Wow, they were tight. Bit of water in there as well. Okay, we've got that, and then we'll get that out the clamp as well. There, lift that out of that. That's now loose, and we've just got the engine earth strap, which is on this side. That's it there. So we'll release this engine earth strap. Okay, that's going to go with the engine now, I think, there. Other than separating the gearbox from the block, we'll just give that a wiggle and hopefully it'll start to move. If I just put that in there, you can just see that wanting to go up. It wants to come away. I just pop the jack under the gearbox to support the weight of it, so when I pull this engine forward, there's nothing to sort of hold the front of the gearbox up. So I've got the new engine crane. I'm going to do a video on this one, all about it. A cracking bit of kit for the money, 189 quid. Absolute bargain, straight off Amazon, links in the description. I've got my faithful engine clamp there just to hook it on. I know I'm going to struggle getting the engine back in again. I might have to get one of these with the adjustment so you can tilt the actual angle of the engine as you're lowering it in. But we shall see. We'll see how we get on. It's going to be tough getting it back. I think getting it back in is going to be worse than getting it out. But, you know, we shall see. We'll just take the strain on it there. And then hopefully we can, yeah, have a quick look at the camera, manoeuvre it. Sorry about the microphone just getting in the way of the shot there, look. I didn't realise. But yeah, take the strain off it. And it's just the engine mounts. they are still through the bolt, so if I can get it up enough to pull it forward, it'll be okay. It's a little bit fiddly. I'm just sort of lifting it a little bit, just separating it there. You can just see there's a gap appearing. Just keep getting me screwdriver in there and just levering it as I'm going up. Every time I get the chance to move forward a bit more, I will do, and then eventually it should separate off the shaft out of the gearbox through the clutch. So this engine mounting down here is just interfering with the steering column and just getting in the way, so I'm going to have to try and take it off. I'm going to have to whip that off. It's going to be a bit of a pain. First thing I do though is try and remove the heat shield and see if that gives me enough to get it through. These are fantastic. This is the Lexicon set. Really good quality. Couple of bolts out and we should be able to get the clamp or the bracket that holds the wiring loom. Yeah, there it is. So that's out of the way. And now I can get at the heat shield that just goes around the steering column there. It sort of keeps the heat off the universal joint. And it has given us enough room now to just wiggle this about. The top bolt for the engine mounting is right up behind the turbo. It looks a bit tight to get at, but I think I'm okay. It looks like it's coming out. Move the light up a bit, get a bit more clearance. The wiring loom now has got to go on top of the engine, as I couldn't get the connector off of the crankshaft sensor. I couldn't release it. It was as tight as you like. I didn't want to break it. So I thought, okay, let's just put the whole loom on the engine and pull it up, and yeah, out it comes. We'll just drag it forward a bit, get it out of the way of the car. Look at it wobbling around. But there it is, in all its glory. It's out. Absolutely fantastic. I'm so pleased to get it out the car, and now we can have a good look around. And it looks nice and clean. It doesn't look bad at all. No oil leaks or anything. Clutch is nice. That was replaced about 3 years ago, something like that. Turbo looks okay. And there's the hole where it's come from. You can see gearbox is good. No leaks on the gearbox. So 166,000 miles. The old girl, she's not looking too bad, to be fair. It's yeah, it's looking all right. So there we go. Engine is out, ready to be stripped down. So join me in the next video to yeah, get it all stripped out and try and fix it, put it back together again. If you've enjoyed it, please drop me a little thumbs up, like, subscribe. It really helps me out, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.